Okay, I'm going to give you some Kafka's highlights from the 45-paragraph recommendations to the judge and their 45-paragraph report on me as a father and my son's life. Well, let me tell you something. If you've never dealt with Kafka's, you have no idea how ill they are. Now, for all I know, the lady that was in my case could be like somebody that enjoys ripping children out of fathers' lives, because there's no checks on the people that do your reports. Once they're given a case, as I've said in the previous chapter, no one checks them. There are no checks on what they're asking, what they're doing, nothing. So let me give you some highlights of the report that Kafka's gave to the judge about a daddy who's been an amazing daddy for 10 years. This is what they wrote. Firstly, the entire report submitted to court had no reference to my life prior to the 15th of April 2022. The entire Kafka's report was about the 15th of April 2022 to where my son is at the final court date, which was December 2023. No mention at all of my entire life with my son. In their entire 45-paragraph report to the judge, there was not one single positive statement about me as a father. Absolutely disgusting. On top of that, let me just read you some highlights. Here's a paragraph that they wrote. After my son has been parentally alienated, remember this, my son was taken on the 15th of April 2022. I've not heard from him. My entire family haven't heard from him. No one has ever known him has ever heard from him. His football team, no one at school's ever heard from him. No one. He was taken on the 15th of April 2022, and despite the police bail conditions being normal child contact, in other words, the false allegation made by the mother to flee to Worcester, premeditated, had nothing to do with my son. She alleged I smashed through a door, a completely made-up allegation proved in criminal court in January 2023. Yet despite being found not guilty in January 2023 of the only allegation she made that I smashed through a door that had nothing to do with my son, Kafka's have completely missed the fact that the bail conditions were normal child contact. So from the 15th of April, it should have been normal child contact. Despite her allegation, they've never mentioned it. My son's mother, never from the 15th of April has anyone ever heard from my son again. And the police, after I chased them multiple times about this, saying she's breaking the bail, said there's nothing they can do. They can't force her to do anything. Kafka's have no mention of this in their report at all. Kafka's have no mention in their report of how my son was illegally removed from his private school of 7 years by email in the middle of half term. No mention of it. No mention in their 45-paragraph report how my son has been reschooled 3 times without my knowledge. No mention of it. In fact, my son has now been homeschooled by the parental alienator. And Kafka's, right, she's got a great system going. Kafka's write this, a full paragraph. Boyce has settled well into Worcester. He's enjoying spending time with his mother, his cousins and his aunties, his nephews, and he's really enjoying his time in Worcester. The fact that he's nice and settled is a good sign. No mention of my family. My mum and dad, uncles and cousins that he's seen every weekend for 10 years. No mention of them. My son hasn't heard, seen or spoken to any human being he's ever known since the 15th of April 2022, and this is what Kafka's write. Kafka's write, there is no sign of parental alienation in this case. Imagine reading that as a daddy. There is no sign of parental alienation in this case. Let me tell you what else Kafka's wrote, just to really make sure that the mother's narrative is followed. Apparently, after 10 amazing years of no allegations, nothing at all but love, my mother and my son now live 2 hours away in Worcester, where her entire family are. Yet apparently they're now living in fear. So Kafka's write this. Boyce is now very scared of any vehicles or anyone coming towards the house, and in fact he won't go on any school trips at all in case the bus goes somewhere near his daddy's house. They just write that. interviewing him with the parental alienator in the parental alienator's home. 2 years after he's taken, this is what they're writing. I'll tell you another highlight that Kafkas wrote. They just write it down, they don't question it, or where's this all come from? Boyce wants to be a professional footballer when he's older. He's written, how would I stop Daddy going to the stadiums when I'm older? And Kafkas just write that down and put it in the report. And then, to really abuse Daddy further, they recommend to the judge that due to the fear that my son and his mother are living at, that there is no evidence of, I have never moved since she made the false allegation on the 15th of April 2022, yet now apparently they're living in fear. Nothing. None. Yet Kafkas write that due to their fear, I should write my son a letter once a month. And these people go to bed at night with no worries about that daddy. Now you imagine, they're the highlights of dealing with Kafkas. As a daddy, you're reading a report that is disgusting, appalling. I'll give you another one. Written in the Kafkas report. My sons had been at the same school 7 years. The school governors and the head teacher were so disgusted in the report that Kafkas had done that they contacted Kafkas because Kafkas have never contacted them. And yet Kafkas write in their report this. Boyce's previous school was trying to contact us, but we see their information irrelevant as it was about Boyce's past and not his future. This is a disgrace. You got to remember that I've now got a restraining order on me till April 2025. I've done absolutely nothing. Proved not guilty in a criminal court in January 2023 by the original allegation that was smashing for a door which had nothing to do with my son. And yet today, I've got a restraining order of 2 years because on the day that I was found not guilty, and believe me, Kafkas have... I'll tell you what Kafkas wrote, that's what else I wrote in the report. Although Mr. Dean was found not guilty of the allegation in January 2023, we all assume that he must have done something. That's what they're writing. So what's the point of the court case? I was found not guilty. Yet I was then given a 2-year restraining order for this reason. Because I've been found not guilty, and I've used evidence, which is a picture of the door, the mother's now allowed to do a plea. She pled to the judge, in writing alone, how scared her and Boyce are living now, and then the judge gave me a 2-year restraining order for preventative reasons only. Not because I've done anything. So I've got now a 2-year restraining order for doing absolutely nothing. Just proved it. And yet Kafkas have never mentioned it. They've used it as a weapon against me, that restraining order. And now they're supporting that my son is scared of me with the mother. And they write in a recommendation to the judge, a wonderful daddy should write his letter once a month to his son. So, we're going to expose them. Because the next chapter is amazing. We're going to start doing the podcast now, get it out there. I need you to share it. This is horrendous. The entire system has to change. Kafkas are a disgrace, and they lied in court. Kafkas in court said they video interviewed me for 1 hour and 45 minutes, when it was in fact 4 minutes. I need to expose Kafkas, and we need to get the awareness out there. So just watch out for the next chapter, and just remember, for any dad that might face this system, believe me, you have to just, Kafkas will absolutely blow your mind.
If you like Deano stories and you want more, and you've got stories of your own that you want told, get in contact and we can sort something out.